we're way overdue. So if you just want to get started,
Yeah,
sure, I'll be all
let's
right.
just waiting for this live stream to go live down here. And we are connected. And now we're going live right now. Three, two, one, go. Hello, and welcome to another episode of This Is Our Year.
Hello.
Hello. It's almost America's birthday, Doug. Red, white, and blue. Red, white, and blue.
It's the only shirt I could find that was red, white, and blue right now.
Hey,
Except
nothing,
for except
nothing
for
wrong with
Triumph
that.
motorcycles, but that's British, so I can't do that.
No, you can't do that. Austin's hipster. Is that American anymore? I don't know.
Oh
It's like,
no, yeah, that's if you listen to the right politicians,
yeah, down there in
no bueno.
Texas. What do you think the Texas politicians want to do with Austin? Do you think they like Austin or do you think they hate Austin?
I mean, yeah, Elon moved there. He's a neo-fascist, right? No, I mean, I think they deal with it just because all the money that comes in, right? You don't see their governor who has his own issues. They don't see you don't see him going after like I don't know which woke companies are in Austin. All of them, Apple, Google. Anyway, whatever. Like fuck that shit. We were there. We were there last week, and it was a hell of a time. Shout out to John and Hillary, Jason and Meg, and all the great people we saw down in Texas. Man, it was a good time.
Yeah. Did you go to Austin City Limits or were you just buying the shirt?
So I thought I was because we saw a concert on Sunday. It was the Smile, and it turns out it was at the other. There's like two ACLs. There's an Austin City something. We went to that. And that was a beautiful venue, but it's not the one that's on TV. Apparently, it's not like the
Okay.
PBS show, which is a
Okay.
different Austin City Limits. But
Hey,
there you go. Yeah.
Austin is like, I don't know. I think New Orleans came first, then Nashville, then Austin, right? And they're all like iterations of each other in some sort of way. And Austin is, I think, the last one, but I think they got a lot of things right. I think the
What are you
last
talking about?
time,
Like southern blow up
like
towns?
live
Because like
music all the time. Yeah, live
okay,
music all the
like I'd
time.
throw
Like
Portland in there too, but sure.
I've never been
But
to
yeah,
Portland, and Portland's. I'm talking about like southern. Yeah, definitely
yeah.
down that way, right? Because New Orleans
Sure.
always had live music for years.
Oh yeah, Memphis too. I've heard. I've never been there.
I've never been to Memphis, so
The
that's
Beale
a
Street.
failure on my part. Failure on my part. That's where Elvis got started, right? That was a great movie, by the way. If you didn't see the Elvis Presley
Oh,
movie that
dude,
they
I
just
could
came
not
out
make
with,
it. I'm sorry, I couldn't make it through that movie.
you hated it.
Jen,
Oh,
it's not like we hated it, but like I think Jenny and I we tried it a couple of different times. It was on HBO, and we just kept getting distracted by Fat Hanks. Just
what?
he was so
What's Fat
distracting.
Hanks?
Tom Hanks is
Oh,
300
Fat Tom
pounds.
Hanks. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, got it. Yes, that was. Those were really, I mean, the guy that did the movie, I can't remember. He's like this Australian director. He did like
Yeah, it's a Baz.
he
He
did
did
like Moulin Rouge and
yeah, he did
all those
the
like
old
musical
remember the Leonardo Romeo and Juliet
Romeo
from
and
the
Juliet
90s.
with
He
Claire
did
Danes. Yeah,
Gatsby recently.
yeah. So he's an interesting director.
Yeah, dude, he's got a style. It was
So
and
I
the
liked
guy
it though.
I didn't think the guy looked or really sounded like Elvis either. So I don't know. This is a me problem as usual, but
I hated that movie.
yeah, I just
Sounds
couldn't finish
familiar.
it. Yeah.
It was good. I thought it was good. It was entertaining. It was entertaining. And I tried to get Melody to watch it because she's a big Elvis
Yeah.
fan, and she fucking refused to watch it. I'm like, Mom, they just made this movie about
See,
Elvis.
Mel.
I don't want to. I don't want to see him in any other light than I remember him. I'm like, well, that was
Yeah,
like
there you go.
50.
Because
It's like
she's a
45 years
real one.
ago.
She's a
Yes,
real
my
one.
mother. My mother was one of those girls throwing panties on stage back in the 70s. I don't know if she ever.
They during the Fat Elvis phase. That's
Yes,
outstanding. The drunken pilled up Elvis comeback tour.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, you
Dude,
see, if they make like a Beastie Boys biopic in 20 years with some shithead, I'm going to be like your mom, be like, nope,
No,
No,
they're
sorry.
gonna they're gonna have like
And it's going to be like
Jason
fat.
Schwartzman play Ad Rock.
Yeah, yeah. Or no, like Jason Schwartzman Jr. And there's going to be
Right.
like a fat Paul Rudd in it, and we're just not gonna, everybody, it's gonna win 20 Oscars, but
Ione Sky is gonna play herself.
yeah, hopefully. I bet she's
Oh
still got
god.
it. I haven't seen Ione in a while, but
Oh
she was the
man.
cheese and he was the macaroni.
That's right. That's right. Well, now he's married to some other like activist woman person.
Yeah, he's married to Kathleen Hanna.
Who?
Kathleen Hanna. She's been in a couple of bands herself. She's New York City, awesome lady.
Who?
Yeah, activist. Sure, definitely
Music.
cool.
Good
Feminist.
music. Good music. Yes.
Good music. Yes. Yeah, man. Austin was a hell of a time. Vegas was a hell of a time. What have you been up to?
When was the last time we did a show?
I looked. It was actually June 17th, which I don't really remember. But
was that after I got home from Tennessee or before I left?
Yeah,
for Tennessee?
maybe. I was just home from Vegas.
Yeah, so I went to Tennessee when you went to Vegas, and then we just got back from Yosemite and Santa Barbara.
Ooh.
Did our first family road trip with the baby. Did our anniversary trip. So all those things are good.
You drove the baby up to Yosemite?
Nice. Yeah, we drove up to Yosemite. We did a day in the park. It's super cool because the only good thing about for those of you that don't live in Southern California, and why would you if this is a fucking New York sports podcast? It's been like fucking Seattle here, and it's been raining since January 1st. And the only good thing about that is that there's a super bloom now in places like Yosemite, and so the waterfalls are gushing and the fields are overflowing with wildflowers of different colors, and everything's green and lush, and that's not normally what California looks like in general. So it was cool though. It was cool. We took the drought's over, which is cool, but I didn't move to fucking California for the drought. So
right. It was triple digits in Texas the whole time.
Sounds miserable.
We had a pool. We went out on Lake Travis one day. A couple pools actually. We had it covered.
Good.
But yeah, I know people move to Texas for reasons, but I hope you're ready if you're going to do that for what looks like is going to be like a normal summer now. It's going to be like triple digits the whole.
Yeah, my buddy moved from San Diego to I think he lives in like Dallas, outside of Dallas, the Metroplex as they call it, and he described it to me as hotter than a dog's mouth, and that just makes sense.
I've heard dogs other things too, but yeah. So
well, what are you drinking today, Doug? We
forgot. Didn't have much American in the fridge either, so I don't know, man. I'm having a farmhouse ale called Till. We're stealing from the Till today, and just like in Roadhouse, and it's out of Raleigh, North Carolina. Fuck off Hurricanes, right?
Yeah,
and UNC. So hey, nice little beer. It is episode 50. Are you drinking?
I did not know it was episode 50.
I told you last time.
I know, but that was like as we just discussed 3 weeks ago. So I don't remember what I did yesterday. But
that's a good point.
I could run inside real quick and put all of our viewers on pause. Or we could just go with me drinking nothing.
Do you have someone who may be able to bring you a drink?
No, I would have to run inside and grab said drink, but I'm okay with that. I'll be right back. You keep this flowing here. There's a big trade right now. Why don't we talk about that trade? Why don't you look that up? The Mets made a huge move. Huge. The Mets just made a huge
trade. This is breaking news.
This is breaking news. I'll be right back.
Breaking news, everybody. The Mets. Don't have my glasses on, have acquired. Oh my God. And he's a former Met, the legendary Chris Flexen returns to Queens with someone named Trevor Gott. I think his dad was in the majors too. Jim Gott. Trevor Gott. What the fuck did we sent Zach Muckenhern. Wow. Yeah. So as Mike said, blockbuster trade. Hey, and here's a little bonus for you guys. It's an animal. It's just, that's what I get. I'm now mouseless. Mike, hurry up. This dead air isn't as easy as it looks on TV. Killed my mouse. You killed it.
Okay, viewers, thank you.
All right, that was some of our best content ever, I gotta say.
Yes. Well, thank you.
Let me just pick the mouse up off the floor. All right, we're back in business.
So, cheers, Douglas.
Cheers. And Sadie says, "Happy 4th of July."
Happy 4th of July, Sadie.
Get out of here. Ooh. What you got?
Happy 50th. I had an open bottle of this cab that we went to this wine dinner from Denner Wines in Paso Robles, Central Coast, California. This is called Mother of Exile. It's like, I don't know what you like in your Cabernet, but this is like on the fucking more punch you in the face, like nice. Dry, like, earthy wine. So it was open.
Nice earthy wine. Drop a couple of gummy bears into the cab.
Yeah.
Yes. Cheers.
Happy 50th. Not including season 0. Not including season 0.
Not including season 0. If we're including that, it is episode 69, baby. No, I don't know what episode it is, but who's number 50? Sid Fernandez.
Benny Agbayani.
Benny Agbayani. I couldn't think of anybody else in any sport.
That's number 50?
Yeah.
I don't know if did the Isles ever have someone number 50? Like a goalie? I feel like there was a goalie that was number 50.
Like Rollison or somebody like that. Go with that if you want.
Yeah. I don't think he was 40. I think he was 40.
Oh, no, someone was 40.
Someone was 50 though. But and then the Nets, they definitely had someone 50.
Benoit Benjamin, maybe?
Man, he was 00 actually. But like someone like some stupid center.
Who was that guy with the mullet? Yeah, the big ass guy. I think he died, unfortunately.
I'm going to look this up.
Early 90s legend. Man. Speaking of not remembering.
Hold on. Let's look. Buck Williams was number 50, it says.
Okay. Hey, retired number and everything. Did he ever make the Hall, Buck? Probably.
I don't know. Let's see. 3 players in Nets history were number 50. They were John Williamson. No clue who that is. That was in 79-80.
I thought of the guy's name.
What's that?
Dwayne Shincius.
Yes. His father was like a Hall of Famer.
I did not know that.
Dolph Shincius.
No, you're thinking of Dolph Shays, man.
Yeah.
Because the Shays guy went to Syracuse. Danny.
Danny Shays. Okay, yes. Then I'm completely wrong. Oh, no. That is wrong. That was players that scored 50 in a game. Who is number 50 on the Nets? Joseph Malcolm.
Buck sounded right, but I guess not.
Yeah, I don't know if that doesn't make sense to me. Anyway, enough of this dumb shit that we're talking about here.
Garbage.
Flush it. So, did you talk about the Mets trade?
Okay. Hey, we have an old friend coming home, huh?
Well, no. So that's the funny part. So we traded. So this is a nice thing about Steve being the owner. We traded Zach Muckenhern, who is a career minor leaguer, 28 or 29.
40-man fodder, yeah.
Yeah, 30, almost 30 years old, lefty. Traded him to the Seattle Mariners. And this seems to be a salary dump for Seattle because they got Chris Flexen's salary off their books, which we took on, which I don't know, I'm probably guessing a couple million. He was a relief pitcher. I don't think he's making that much. And then we got a guy named Trevor Gott, who I guess has 1.5 years as another year of contract after this one, and has had some pretty decent years as a middle reliever. So, guy for the bullpen. We immediately designated Flexen for assignment.
Interesting. Okay, so Flexen was like just
it looks like a salary dump.
Okay.
Well, I mean,
like, I know he like came back from Korea really good, right?
He had a good year, like in 2021,
a couple years ago. Yeah,
2021 he had a really good year. 2022
he's back to garbage again.
Yeah, they designated him for assignment last week. So let's take a look real quick. Let's just take a look and see how much.
And is Trevor Gott related to Jim Gott? That's what I was talking about when you were gone.
I don't think so, but maybe. Let's take a look here. Chris Flexen.
This whole show is just us looking at computers.
Trevor Gott is arbitration eligible, making $1.2 million, and Chris Flexen. I don't know. I don't see him anywhere on here, so I don't know. Maybe
doesn't look like Trevor Gott is son of Jim Gott. Oh well. Let's see. New York Mets update. Maybe that'll help. Jim Gott had 34 saves for the 1988 Pirates. There you go.
Jim Gott, 34 saves. Like it. Well, we're not going to get the answer to this question either, Doug. This is stupid.
We're off to a shitty start here. Just like the Mets.
Dude.
It's not even a start. It's half the season, and they're dog shit. So
they just won their first series in a month.
They did. Good job, guys.
Yeah, what do you think is the problem? What do you think is the problem, Doug?
Everything. But I was going to say they have 2 or 3 weeks to go on a tear. Otherwise, just fucking sell this thing off.
Yeah, I mean,
some seasons just don't work.
Some seasons just don't work. And what do you think it was this season, though? Because we've talked about the pitching.
There's a ton of things, but starting with Diaz,
the pitching,
with Diaz, and then the starting rotation fell apart,
which put a bunch of tax on the bullpen, and we've had a bunch of AAA guys in that bullpen that no one seems to be able to have no one's having a career year. Everyone is either having a below average to career worst year this year, offensively and defensively. It's like the perfect storm.
Other than Tommy Pham. Wow.
Which sell him for whatever you can get at the deadline.
Please.
But
prospect magnet.
What I'm worried about is the thing that not everyone's talking about. A couple years ago we had Lindor and McNeil get into it with the famous "there was a rat in the or a raccoon in the clubhouse" issue, right? And they
certainly was.
And they definitely were fighting each other in the clubhouse that time, right? So they clearly didn't like each other 2 years ago. Last year, Jeff came back and was, I'm not going to be such a, he seems like a grinding personality, probably super intense. And Lindor seems like the happiest, laid back guy. And I'm sure that they just clash. And
Lindor tries to lead too, right? So I'm sure Jeff, Jeff didn't like it, right? But they both responded last year to having really damn good years, right?
Yep. And they're both long-term pieces of this future of this team. And Lindor had said last year that he promised to get Jeff a car if he won the batting title.
Right.
And that car still hasn't been purchased. And there has been a lot of allusion to the fact that there is a clubhouse rift.
Okay. Is this a real thing? Because I know we're in New York. You get clicks on kind of stories like this.
I saw it brought up numerous times from different people on Twitter. I don't know.
Right. So which is why I'm asking if it's a real thing. Do we have any quotes from anyone inside the Mets, even anonymous? Or are we, we just trying to think of things what's wrong? Things. Okay.
I don't know, man. I don't know. Is there a locker room issue? Do we have the guys where, we haven't heard a lot from Pete this year. Pete's usually boisterous out front. He's been kind of quiet. I don't know if that has anything to do with lack of a contract.
I don't know, man. I think the vibe has just been bad since the injury with Diaz. they haven't looked themselves all year, and I don't think it's because they're bad now. I think it would help if McNeil didn't have an 87 OPS plus, right? And a lot of other guys. I mean, I'm not going to single out Lindor. Lindor's doing fine, I guess. Like especially the power numbers, right?
He's having a better year from every perspective except for batting average.
Yeah,
at this point than he did last year.
So. I mean, he's not having a better year than last year by hitting wise, but I'm not like on him, right? Like he was like a 130 OPS. I think he's like a 107 now. I just if you want to make it about one thing, like, I mean, sure, but I just think it's everything. Like,
yeah, it's just like one of those unlucky.
It's just like a bad year. Yeah,
they just literally had one of the worst months they've ever had, in the history of the franchise, with a team, the highest paid team, and that doesn't help. And so that puts a target on their back. And we got, dickheads like Buster Olney and whoever else writing these fucking stupid stories because they want to hate on the Mets because they're hateable because they've spent so much money. Well, they went from 3.5 games behind the Braves on June 1st to 18 and a half games.
I mean, we've been doing this show like once every 2 weeks. So if we go back to episode 48, I have they were 30-28 in second place on, as you said, June 3rd, like exactly a calendar month ago, and they went 8-20 since then.
8-20, 8-20, stupid.
It's awful. Also, like June was a busy month for me. I didn't watch him for like a week last week. I didn't watch the Philly meltdowns or whatever.
I mean, it was. I haven't watched since I think the two weeks ago when we were 30-28 because they were becoming unwatchable, and I can't enjoy it when they're blowing every fucking lead. It's not fun.
Yeah.
I think the last game I watched was I turned them on when they were playing Philly. Happened to be like on the Peloton or whatever, and I turned them on, and it was just, they blew that game. They were up like 6-3 in the ninth, and I'm like, oh, we're going to win this game. And
was that the Robertson one?
I was one of them. And now
everyone's like,
questioning.
He was like the last guy to blow one, and he finally did. You're right. Like, Ottavino's been terrible. We could go down the list.
Yep, and everyone wants to shit on Buck now for his, everything he's doing, and it's just been... It's been rough, man. It's been really rough.
But then again, like, you're going to fire more people.
Well, I think that's what I appreciate about Steve coming out and saying no one's getting fired this year. It's getting late in the season. Everyone, we're not going to be able to make this turnaround if we just start firing people to make you guys feel happy that someone got fired so that we can have something to talk about. And I think it's prudent. I think Buck Showalter has been here for long enough that he can finish out the season at the very least. I don't think he's the issue. I think the issue is that we're not performing, and the guys on the field got to perform. And I think Cohen said that very succinctly. Like, the players are the ones that are responsible for how we play. So that's why I think we had such a good year last year. We didn't have much turnover. We replaced some of our starting pitching, and with older starting pitching, I think.
Well, they replaced 3/5 of the rotation.
Right.
That's
and
major.
we replaced a bunch of the bullpen as well.
Yeah.
So, but we kept most of the lineup, and the lineup's underperformed, and the pitching has underperformed. And I don't know if people want to blame Hefner. I think firing him would be a humongous mistake. I think Chavez getting promoted from hitting coach to bench coach can have a bit to do with the regression. I know he's still on the team, and we got these two associate hitting coaches that I don't know who they are, but I don't think that helps us at all. And I don't know. I don't know, man.
Yeah.
That's why I think maybe there is a vibe in the locker room that's negative, and maybe that's why these guys aren't coming to fight for that uniform, and they're not on the same page, and they're just each other's enemies right now. So
it's more than possible. Right, Marte's been crap for the most part.
I don't think he ever recovered from surgery. I think that's part of the issue. I think he rushed back and just is a
You
shell.
know, at this point, we're watching Max and Verlander, and they're having some decent starts here. So, but I'm looking at them now like, oh, okay, what can we get for these guys, right?
They pretty much
So,
said they're not moving neither
yeah,
of them. You know, they're going to
I
move
mean,
anyone on a 1 year deal. That's who's going. So Pham, Robertson, Rayleigh. If they can get anything for Vogelback, Canna, those are your guys that are going to get gone. And if it's any indication that we're going to overpay to move their contracts, pay for the rest of their salary, eat it to get a better prospect back. It's what we've done in the last two trades. I don't know how good Trevor Gott's going to be, but I mean, it's just the willingness
can't
to
hurt.
take on flexing salary, whatever it may be, to eat that salary to get a better player. Same thing with the Escobar deal. I mean, we took on his salary to get better prospects, and
Yeah,
who knows what
like
these guys are going to be. But
that Crow guy might contribute next year.
yeah,
I don't know, man. Like,
I don't know either.
it sucks because like it was all about these optional relievers like coming into the season, and they've all that's blown up in their faces, man. Brigham's been bad. Curtis isn't even here. That Leon sucks. I don't know, man.
Rayleigh's not been great.
Yeah, I mean, he's all right, but like again, overused. But at
Drew
best, he's
Smith.
Aaron Loop. Yeah, Drew Smith has been a major
crap.
disappointment, including the suspension, which didn't help. I don't know, man. It's you absolutely trade Robertson. What's that?
Ottavino's been garbage.
Garbage. So you don't think they'll deal? Or he's already said he's not going to deal Justin or Max. I would love to get some prospects.
There was some report that said that they're not going to deal from their core, which is like Nemo, McNeil, Lindor, Pete, Max, Justin, and they're obviously the kids aren't going anywhere, right?
Right.
So
I'd hope not.
If they can move Marte or Canna, if they can move Pham, if they can move Vogelbach, which I doubt it because he's another one that's tanked this team this year. He's a 270-pound anchor on this offense. So, and then JD Davis comes out the other day and totally shits on us for the last 2 years.
Is he wrong? I mean, I was going to bring up that article because I just read it, but he's like, I had what do you say? I had 6 GMs when I was there. I had 4 managers, 4 hitting coaches. You know, it's been turmoil.
And he said I hit a home run and I'd be on the bench the next day. Yeah, stupid.
But he also got hurt at the wrong times. I feel like every time he was going to break out, he like broke his hand. I don't know. It's just shit luck, and it's always shit luck with this team.
Always, and so I do think that's why again it's prudent that Steve's like we're not making any knee jerk reactions. We're not making any knee jerk trades. You know, we're gonna assess what we think we can. We're gonna try and get these guys who have done this before. You know, that have proven track records to try and hit their career norms because no one is on pace to hit their career norm this year except for maybe Lindor. Everyone else, maybe Pete, but I mean Pete's batting average is way down. You know, so it's just been difficult season.
It's been super difficult. I don't know what else to say. You want to move on to some more fun stuff? You want to talk some NBA?
Yeah, let's talk NBA. Let's talk about Brooklyn Nets, their moves that they've made and what we think they may be doing. And do you want to talk about the Knicks at all? Have you done any research on your beloved
I
New York
figured
Knickerbockers?
we would live. I figured we would lead. This farmhouse sale is only 4%. I'm not drunk.
Yet.
Yet. I figured we would leave with the big signing. The New York Knicks have brought in Donnie DiVincenzo.
Oh my God! So you guys are trying to recreate that Villanova championship team, huh? With Josh Hart and DiVincenzo and Brunson. Yeah. Are they going to hire Jay Wright to come take over?
Bring him in. I'm sure he'll work great under Dolan.
Yes, exactly. So,
and is Isaiah still there? Yeah. Welcome to the family, Jay.
I think Isaiah is actually on the Clippers.
He's off fucking something else.
He's ruining. I think that had something to do with. He had something to do with the Chris Paul trade. So maybe he's on.
Sure.
No, I think he's in Phoenix. That's where he is. So he's fucking some other franchise.
Perfect. They're going down in flames. All right. So anyway, all jokes aside, you guys are kind of involved in the Dame rumors. Now, you got me excited yesterday when you gave me a shout. Brooklyn's not getting Lillard.
No,
right.
And
no.
Nor do we want him. As a fan, I don't want a 32-year-old point guard that we aren't ready to compete. You know, if we got Dame, sure, we'd probably be the 5th or 6th seed, maybe the 4th seed. And, you know, we would maybe win a round, but we're not winning the championship.
Yeah, you'd be Blazers East, so he would probably be instantly unhappy. So he wants to go somewhere where he's happy.
He wants to go to Miami or bust, which I think makes total sense for his trajectory. Him and Jimmy Buckets are about the same age.
Yep.
And they got Bam as their, you know, front court presence.
And they have Riley and Spoelstra, which makes such a difference. So
it does. And they find a way to retool every year. They have, you know, I think they're the best developmental team in the NBA. They get guys in the second round and unrestricted, you know, guys that are not even undrafted guys.
Yeah,
and they turn them into rotational players.
You know, talking to Heat fans this year, that I think they're calling them the nobodies, right?
Yeah.
Dragged them to the finals. Jimmy and the nobodies.
Yeah. My little brother-in-law is a Heat fan. Funny because he lives in Orange County, California, but he's a big Jimmy Butler fan. And
is that allowed in LA? Wow.
You know what though? I got to give him credit. He told me all year that they were going to make a run to the finals, and they fucking did.
He called it. Did.
Man. Wow. He did. And I'm, you know, maybe a blind faith, but he's pretty knowledgeable when it comes to the Heat. So he's been singing their praises all year. I didn't think they had a chance in hell, you know, and they turned it on in the playoffs, and why wouldn't Dame want to go there? So anyway, that all being said, the rumor being floated about is Dame, a 3-way deal with Dame going to Miami and somehow Tyler Hero ending up in Brooklyn. And I don't know what else would have to go where or how, but I'm all for it.
I mean, first of all, because I don't totally remember where you guys are with the roster. Do you need another shooting guard badly?
Yes, we just
have Bridges and Simmons, right?
Well, Simmons is a point guard or point forward, and Bridges is a small forward. He plays the 3 or can play the 3.
Okay, so I thought they had him at the 2 sometimes too. All right,
yeah, he can play the 2 or the 3. But we just traded Joe Harris and his contract, so he's no longer.
Oh, I missed that. Oh,
a player. Yeah, we just traded Patty Mills and his contract, and Seth Curry left as a free agent. So what was a plethora of veteran shooting guards has now become none. Okay. And I don't know.
That works.
We don't have anyone besides Bridges, and Bridges, he can shoot the 3, but that's not really his strong suit. It's not. Right. I wouldn't say that's his game. He's not. He's a
little better down low. Okay.
He's good at getting to his spots and jumpers and getting to where he can hit his shot. He's definitely. I mean, he can hit a 3. Don't get me wrong, but I don't think that's like. I wouldn't call him a 3-and-D guy. I wouldn't call him like a 3-point specialist.
Yeah.
The 3 guys I just talked about, those guys are 3-point specialists for the most part.
Is Dinwiddie still around, by the way?
Dinwiddie is still on the team.
Okay,
yes.
He's coming back. All right.
He's coming back. We re-signed Cam Johnson, the other piece that we got in the Durant trade. Yeah. So right. He just signed a 4-year deal extension. We got Claxton, and DFS right now is probably our starting power forward, but I think they're looking to move one between Dorian Finney-Smith and Royce O'Neal because those are 3-and-D type guys. So I don't know what's going to have to move out to bring Hero in, and I don't know what we'd have to take in or whatnot. But I think
sounds like Simmons, right?
I don't know. I don't know if we'd have to move Simmons, and I don't know who's taking Simmons unless we're attaching a lot of draft capital to move that contract. And I think at this point, after moving between Harris and Patty Mills, we just moved almost $25 million of salary for the upcoming season. And I don't think we've created another trade. So we have almost $100 million in trade exceptions right now.
I was going to say, you guys must be like close to the floor at this point, right?
Still over the cap because Simmons and Dinwiddie, Yeah, we're still over the cap, but we're below the luxury tax finally. But I think moving those guys out, creating the big trade exception, we can take a big contract back now and have it not be equal. So
James Harden. James Harden. Do it, James
Harden. Ruining another. I mean, dude, ruining another franchise. It's three of the most selfish people in the NBA on one team. I guess people definitely said it wouldn't work, and they were right. But we don't need to be revisionists here. So I don't know, man. We'll see what happens. It's exciting to think about something like that. I think that would make us, again, pretty much the same deal as if we got Dame, a 6 or 7 seed, 5, 6 or 7 seed in the East with that lineup and a full season together under Jacque Vaughn. And I'd like to see how it shakes out. I'd like to see if we can land Tyler Herro. But if not, I don't really know what else we're doing. We made some minor moves. Yeah. We signed Dennis Smith Jr. to a 1-year deal and Lonnie Walker
the fourth. Speaking of Porzingis.
Not really exciting at all. Not at all. No. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see how those Brooklyn Nets play this year. They're not going to win anything.
Well, they seem mediocre.
Yeah,
which is maybe where you don't want to lock yourself into that mid tier. What other teams would do something like that? Wait, let's look at Mike's cap. They might be a good example of maybe not hanging out in the 8th seed for a decade.
Oh, wait.
We have some country club contracts to pass out. Yes, who wants to stay here for 7 more years? Everybody? Everybody!
Let's talk about that, Douglas. How do you feel about
I got the Boogaloo flu, baby.
How do you feel about what Lou did the past couple of days?
Oh, Lou. I feel like we should do a segment on each of these contracts over the next 4 episodes, honestly. That was a lot yesterday.
But let's talk about it. What do you hate about it?
You want to start with the good? You want to start with the good? We got Sorokin locked up for $825 for 8 years. That's incredible to me as a hockey fan. No, I mean like Shesterkin's going to get at least that, right, next year, if not more.
Definitely.
It's less than the Bob contract, which I figured he might get. I figured he might be able to ask for up to 10. So I love this contract. 8 years, 8.25. Ilya Sorokin locked in. They gave his buddy too many years to hang around, but I don't really care about that one.
Come on.
That of course is Varlamov.
4 years at 2.75. What serviceable backup goaltender are you getting for that?
It's always the term with me. 4 years. Fine,
you got to figure that. First of all, Varlamov. First of all, let's finish up Sorokin. Yes. It's a steal. It's puts the anxiety of playing this last year before unrestricted free agency to bed, and he is by far our best player, and our best player is now locked up for the next 9 years because the contract doesn't kick in until 2024.
Yes.
So I got no complaints with that contract.
And even though goalies are kind of variable, they're kind of like relief pitchers year to year. This guy, I think, has proven enough that you're confident he's going to be a top 5 goalie for at least the next 5 years.
Varlamov played great last year. He didn't have as much of a
last year
workload. Yeah, I mean, when he wasn't injured, he played well. And the year before, in his 35, 36 year or 34, 35 year. But by the time he's at the end of that term, 9 years from now, hopefully we've drafted someone and they've come up and they'll be the next guy to take the torch and he'll
not complaining about the Sorokin term. You're 40, confusing me. You're going back.
I know. I'm getting to my point here. So okay. by that time, he'll be 36 and we'll have a guy in the pipeline. If we don't trade all of our first round picks over the next.
Isn't Varlamov already like 35?
Varlamov is 35, so he'll play till he's 39, which we've seen goalies play into their 40s. If he's only going to play 20 to 30 games a year, at the later stages of his career, he should be okay.
It's not terrible. It's not
terrible. At $2.75 million, it's not terrible.
And so add Sorokin's plus Varley's, it's 11 total.
Yes.
And even if you got Sorokin at 11 a year and there's 80 games of Sorokin, I think you take that. So it's not terrible. So,
and think about this: the last 4 years, the last 3 years, we've paid $9 million for our goalies,
yep.
and so to only have to give a $2 million raise.
Yeah, I mean that wasn't great to begin with, but that's another story. Lou gets an A from me for Sorokin, and he gets a B- for Varlamov contract. How about you?
I'm totally fine with both of them. I think if for the amount of money we gave Varlamov for 4 years, in the fourth year, unless he gets injured and he's just a waste, and then we can put him on LTIR, right? But I don't care about our backup goalie and the term, right? It's fine. What are we going to do? Resign Thomas Greiss? You know, the two of those guys are happy together. The two of those guys are happy together. Let them be happy together.
Thomas Greiss is awesome when he's on the island. What was I going to say? Yeah, the thing with all this with Lou is the cap better go up.
They're expecting a huge jump next year.
I know they are, but they've said that before. So,
well, this is fine. We're finally going to be 4 years removed from the COVID year, and we should see an increase because we haven't had a major increase in 4 years, and we had 2 of those 4 years of a straight flat. So we had a flat cap for 2 years, and I think we've had like literally $1 million increase last year and $1 million increase this year. So only the Players Association they need more money, right? They need more money. So I think
the owners claim they lost a lot.
I mean, every owner claims they lose a lot every year. Shut the fuck up. You're going to sell the franchise for tenfold what you paid for it. Give me a break. And you write everything off in the interim if there is losses, or at least paper losses.
Spoken like a CEO.
So,
by the way, is anybody watching? Do we have comments?
Your sister was on about, I don't know. It looks like
so. You could see people's names.
Yeah, Hillary wrote something when we were talking about Texas. Do it, you'll learn to love the heat. That was her comment. So
yeah, man, you got to stay on top of those.
Are they not in front of you? I ran inside to get the drink, and by the time I came out, it was gone. It was up, and it was why. But yes,
so it just pops up. In other words,
yeah, there's a whole chat box that they can jump in and have. We could chat with them if we wanted to. So
yeah, because my chat box is empty. That's weird.
Well, this is on the live stream on YouTube. They're not on. Yeah,
not on Iris. Got it.
No, because no one can log into Iris unless we invite them.
We should invite people.
We should invite people. We let them sit in the background.
Yeah.
So
the talking shit.
Overall, goaltending's locked up for the next 4 to 8 years.
Yeah.
I give it overall an A. It's our best fucking players locked up at a below market contract for the next 9 years. I'm not going to complain. That contract in 5 years is going to be a boon unless there's some sort of injury. Right?
I mean, we're on this is our year. Nothing bad happens to our teams.
Right, exactly. Right, exactly. So let's talk about Mayfield, buddy. Or do you want to talk about Engvall first? Because you hate the Mayfield one the most.
Oh, dude. All right.
Let's save Mayfield for the end.
No. I mean, I don't want to even pick on these guys because I kind of like them. But so I did what I was going to say. I checked the free agent tracker so far, the entire league. Who's getting what? Like what kind of contracts are being handed out? Timo Meier got 8 years, 8.8. Bookmark that one because we have to talk about that one. But anyway, so like he's a star player. Like those guys get like the 8 to 7 years, right? Matty Duchene yesterday got $3 million, but I heard he wanted to stay like right down there in the South. Like he went from Nashville to Dallas. He wasn't coming to the island. He would have been perfect here, but oh well. So anyway, I went through every single free agent that was signed so far, UFA, not RFA, and which Engvall and Mayfield were. And the closest to these contracts that I see for a guy who's not like a top tier star, who's like more of a middle sixer or like a second or third pair D, is there are two guys, Ryan Graves and Miles Wood. Miles Wood got 5 years. Ryan Graves got 5 years from different teams. So here we are, being Islanders fans, and we should be used to this because we just got to be weird. We always got to be different, right? Mike Milbury, Garth Snow, Charles Wong, 15 years for Rick DiPietro. So Lou is taking this tack of just locking up the entire bottom of the roster to long-term contracts. No one else is doing it. Is he a visionary, or are we going to be stuck in 9th place because we can't move any contracts for the next decade? The floor is yours.
Well, I think Lou has this is not new. Lou always cares about the AAV because that's what counts against the cap. He doesn't care about the future because he's probably going to be dead when these contracts expire.
Okay,
so
but
at least hold on. At least not the GM, right? At 87, we hope if he's still the GM at 87, that'll be interesting and weird and whatever. We'll get there when we get there. So I think he buys down. You know, he did it with Casey last year.
Yep,
and he did it.
It's not lost on me.
No, he's buying down. He's buying down.
But he's doing it with everyone. You know,
we unfortunately don't have cap space.
Traded all our prospects too. So,
and that's the other thing. So who?
There's no picks.
We could have plug and played. We could have taken Engvall, who's playing in our top. He's playing in our top 6. He's not in our middle 6. I guess he is in our middle 6 essentially, but he's a winger on our second line. Played quite well last year.
Played very well with Nelson and Palms, I believe.
Yes, and that'll be our second line rolling into the year. Now, could he have gotten $4 or $5 million out on the open market? I don't think he's getting $5 million. Could he have gotten 3.5 or 4? I think he probably could have on a shorter deal.
Yep.
We couldn't. Unfortunately, we couldn't pay him more than what we paid him. We couldn't pay him more than $3 million a year. So how do you get a guy to come a hometown discount? You give him some more years.
You give him 7 years, and honestly, okay. So let's talk about Engvall. He's actually a guy that this team needed.
Yeah,
I'm not sure if he's like a great player, but he's one of the few players who can skate faster than Trent Hunter. So that helps. Like he, people give him crap, I guess, for his physical game, but he's also come from Toronto, where it's like dissected like the Knicks and the Yankees. So I'm sure he's happy to be here. Lou loves him. Lou's obviously doubling down on this dude.
Well, he drafted him.
That's right. So it makes sense. He gets the country club contract. He gets, he gets to be a part of this crew by Josh Bailey, by the way. So he, again, we have to like shed assets to get rid of these contracts. And I feel like that's just going to happen here with contracts like Mayfield. Engvall, though, I'm not mad about. Engvall, I give like a B2, I think. That's at least I wanted something better, right? Because we want that DeBrincat trade to happen. We still have to add him forward, but I'm fine with Engvall being here. How about you?
Yeah. Look, man, unfortunately, we sealed our deal with the Devil about 3 years ago.
Literally, the Devil.
Maybe 4 years ago. Yeah. So this was always the path, and it's going to take. I'm not thinking about like 2031, right, or 2030 or 2031 when these contracts are up, and maybe there are going to be some dark years at the end of that. But right now, there was no other way to improve this franchise unless you brought in lesser talent and tried to plug them in on a second line. Yeah. You couldn't get a second line winger on a 1 or 2 year deal for $3 million that is going to put up possibly 20 goals and 20 assists. And we don't have anyone in the system that could do it unless you think Wahlstrom is going to make the move, which I don't think he is. I don't think he is because he's coming off. He already was slow and basically a post-up shooter, and now he's not going to be moving any faster with coming off an ACL. And what are we going to get? What were you going to get for $3 million? Look at the guys that signed. I don't care what the term was. Look at the guys that signed as forwards for $3 million. You're looking at like third and fourth line.
Other than Duchesne, of course, which I guess was a special case. And by the way, the fact that Barry bought him out says a lot. I don't know if I don't think he was ever an option for the Islanders.
Right.
Look, that's fair. I mean, just Engvall is what?
26, 27?
Yeah, and he's never really had a breakout year.
He was also playing third line center in Toronto. I don't think he was playing wing.
I would love if he had like upside to have like a Grabner or 2 year where he like comes out with 30 goals out of nowhere. I would feel a little better. But again, he moves the puck. The list of guys who can move the puck are Barzal, Aho, and I guess Engvall. So, hey, I'm okay. It's so weird. 7 years for everybody. But
you got to think this is the one thing I want you to think about because we're so hung up on this term. If the cap, let's just say for argument's sake, the cap goes up $4 million is what they're saying it's probably going to go up this year. It's $4 million in 2024. That's already okay.
Huge.
So we're going from 2023 to 2024. That's a $4 million increase in the first year of that term being eliminated. 6 years, over the course of those 6 years, that cap should go up. Let's just say it goes up only $1 million a year every year after that. Mm-hmm. So you're talking you've gained $10 million in cap just because the years have graduated, right? So that $3
million.
Getting
that $4 million next year? You do.
Noah Dobson.
5-year contracts for Matt Martin and Cal Clutterbuck.
Those guys will finally be gone.
Will they? Will they?
I think. I mean, maybe Martin comes back for 1 year, and we'll see. I don't think Cal's got another year after this one left in him. I think he would have retired.
You know, I love these guys, by the way, but I'm kidding on Lou. Like,
yeah, 7 years, $7 million for both of them.
Right.
But
why not? What are we doing here? Sebastian Aho, 7 years,
$7 million. So I don't know, man. I don't know, but so let's roll into Mayfield here because I think we can get 15 to 20 goals out of Engvall, 15 to 20 assists, plus 5, averaging 20 minutes of ice time.
And if that line is good, then he's a bargain, honestly. So
right, okay. You're not plugging a $3 million guy for this year or next on the second line that's going to give you that kind of production, in my opinion.
Okay, yeah, here we go. 30-year-old defenseman with not much offensive game. Loves to ice the puck. Scotty Mayfield, our boy. 7 more years. Dude, this one we're going to lose a second round pick over. Guarantee you.
In 2033, we'll sign a second-round pick to the Arizona or to the Atlanta Coyotes.
They won't be able to make ice in Arizona in 2033. So you're right. Fuck it.
Right, dude. I mean, at this point, he brings something to the defense core that we don't have, and we don't have in the system. I was starting to talk myself into, well, maybe Grant Hutton could replace him for the league minimum, but. I don't think so, man. And that I think that
we have Romanov.
Look, we need that crease clearing guy, and the difference between Scott Mayfield and Alexander Romanov is about 4 inches and 30 pounds. So yes, Romanov is a willing guy to put the hit on, but his body is more Kasparaitis sized.
It is.
Mayfield is Brandon Witt size. You're going to come in front of that crease, you're going to get cross-checked until you either
which is why he's in the box a lot.
You need that, though. You need that physicality.
Look, I don't want to. I'm glad Scotty's going to be around. I don't want to shit on him, but like 3-5 for 7 years.
Again,
what
were you
maybe
getting?
You're right. Maybe I'm part of the nerd crew that like goes on Cap Friendly and looks at all the contracts.
What were you going to get? What were you going to get from someone outside the system?
I hope we like this team because it's going to be like a carbon copy every year, the same roster.
But what I can tell you is I agree with what you're saying. I think that this team it's going to be a slow fucking painful death. At some point, we're going to be.
I think it's already happening, man.
Maybe. I want to see. I'm excited to see what a full season of Horvat with Barzal on the wing.
Yeah, Horvat gets a full year.
I'd like to see whether, Bulldog or Aho is going to be that left-hand puck-moving sixth defenseman opposite Mayfield. And I want to see Engvall for a full year as well. Our fourth line is intact. And that brings us to the last thing we're going to talk about here is do we want to talk about the DeBrincat possibility?
I mean, the more you talk about it, the more you're setting us up just for pain when he goes to, Boston or wherever. He won't go to Boston, sorry. But you know what I mean.
Right.
Like Anaheim. I will absolutely change my tone if they can pull that off. That is exactly what this team needs. A guy who can put up 40, but not only put up 40, actually like shoot on the power play, which, good God, they're so bad. The power play is a mess. And it's perfect. And if you're getting rid of JPG's contract, even better, because that's going to be an albatross in about a year or two as well. That's another Josh Bailey special coming down the pike. I think it's too good to be true, but
I think that you are probably correct that it's too good to be true. I think that
a lot of teams can't afford $8 million, right?
And I think so. I was doing some more reading on it this morning because I hear your side of the coin. What do we have to offer Ottawa that can't be bettered by another team out there? And I think this is a convoluted trade because apparently he likes Ottawa, he likes the team, but he wants either to get overpaid right now. He wants to be overpaid with term right now, or he's going to take arbitration and go to unrestricted free agency.
Yeah, so he wants the 8 years now, right? Or he's going UFA.
That's what it seems like. His agent is telling him, we can just play in one more year, and then Ottawa does not
9 years, right? It would be like
Ottawa does not want to give him the term. Yeah. So that is the problem right now. Is Ottawa doesn't want to give him the term. That's why they said let's go to. I wonder why they usually don't. I don't know, man. I don't know. Maybe they just don't want to lock up that much money into a winger when they got a bunch of young guys coming up that'll be due for extensions in a couple of years. That's probably my guess, right? But he's still young himself. He's only 25.
Dude, he's perfect for this Islander roster. He really is.
He's perfect. He is the top line winger that we've been begging for the last 5 years, right?
And I mean, let's calm down a little. He's not like a world beater guy, but he is the exact piece that this roster is missing.
He's everything. In my opinion, and I haven't watched a lot of his game. I've just been reading about him, but he is everything that Wahlstrom hasn't developed into. He's got a great shot. He's got a great shot. He's put the puck in the net on a consistent basis. He's got a 40-goal season before the age of 25, and he's on the small side. But if you got Horvat in the middle, you got Barzal controlling the puck movement and drawing the defense around him, and then you got DeBrincat posting up at the circle and just waiting for those one-timers.
With Dobson at the point, especially on the power play, that's going to be hard to deal with.
And I just want to say this about the power play. There was a lot of iterations of the power play last year, right? There was a lot. And in the beginning of the year, we were actually decent on the power play. Our power play tanked in the second half of the year.
So bad.
Somewhat coincided with Wahlstrom getting injured. Now, I know he wasn't on that top unit, but he was playing on the power play on the top unit at times, doing exactly what I just said. He was posting up in the circle and waiting for that one-timer. And he had a couple of power play goals before he got hurt.
That's a great point. He had 6 goals in October, November last year, right? Right off the bat.
His injury, I think, was very underrated on how our offense performed for the rest of the year.
I like his game. I like his game.
I love his game.
He's on the ice.
I think Wahlstrom, I'm a big fan. I just wish
he's almost too aggressive though. Like he keeps getting himself hurt. He was going after a big hit right when he tore his ACL. He launched himself at somebody.
He did, and he got upended because the guy ducked out of the way and hit his knee.
Hopefully he learns
buckled
from that. But
so that's what it comes down to, Doug. It's either going to be JG Wallstrom's got to be a part of this deal to Ottawa. He would be the prospect or the player that would make sense with JG.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And they'd have to move.
You'd have to add another pick, right? First round pick.
I'm sure we'd have to dump a first round pick. And either Ross the Boss would go to them, or we bury him in the minor leagues. Yeah. And one of the two, sixth or seventh defensemen, either Baldock or Aho would have to move out, or Hutton, one of those three. Well, it would have to be one of those two because they're going to be guaranteed roster spots.
Or like Callie Odelius. But yeah, dude, it's an okay package. They're doing us a lot of favors taking all that contract.
So they got to make it work.
Send them a lot.
I think they want Peugeot back. I think wasn't he their captain when they traded him to us? So
it's possible.
I'm pretty sure he was their captain when they traded JG to us. And those were the dark years, right? He kind of was. I think he was the captain after.
No, I mean he was on a team that went on a run in the playoffs for Ottawa. Like he was the Rangers' nightmare. I remember.
But he played through a lot of those dark years.
By the time he was traded, they sucked ass. Absolutely.
Right.
So, I love JG too, but Lou collects all these dudes, loyal to a fault. And I don't know if we can get over the top with this. So DePringet might do it though.
Hey, and if it takes a first, second, and third, I'm here for it. But to your point, well, we're not sure if it's going to happen. Yeah. So.
Sorry for all the hockey, everybody, but
whatever.
July 1st.
It's better than talking Mets baseball right now.
Oh God, football will be here in a few weeks. I hope. Maybe
it will be. So, Douglas, what do we got to say?
Yeah, man. I feel like we covered this already. You had a really good Viacom. Joe Harris. I was thinking Josh Bailey.
I think that's a perfect one.
Yeah, dude. Like Josh Bailey. Viacom Diaz, always a frustrating player, but dude, kind of a semi-Islanders legend and been around since, who was president when he debuted?
Bill Clinton?
All right, fair. You got me. There's the guy after him, George W. Bush. Still a long-ass time ago. Viacom
Diaz. Enjoy Nashville.
Show us your war face one more time. And yes, you're right. Enjoy Nashville, Josh. I don't know what I'm talking about.
All right, Dougie. It's been a great show. Audience, we'll see you hopefully next week, but, it's the summertime.
Maybe not.
Maybe. We'll see. Depends on how shitty the Mets play.
Maybe Saturday, if I'm not hungover.
Saturday. Yeah, or maybe getting drunk on a Saturday. Until next time.
Bye, guys. Happy 4th.
All right. What do you want to call that?